You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.
Hi, this is John Jankowski with Scott Delorge, Las Vegas Coin Company.
We're coming at you live and in store this time instead of at our normal podcast studio to show you where the fun happens.
We've got a small store here, but it is packed with stuff.
Everywhere.
And most of this stuff has a story. And it's one of the reasons we enjoy coming to work, because there's other reasons we don't enjoy coming to work. So, for instance, this is an English Bobby hat. This was owned by an English Bobby. He and his son came in our store via Uber from the Strip, and he had two of these hats. And true to form, I don't know what it is if the English come out of the womb bargaining, but I paid too much for these two, but they were really cool and I just really had to have it. But frankly, now I don't know about the English head size, but the Polish head size is a little larger. So this one doesn't fit, but it might fit you actually.
It might.
Anyway.
It was really cool to see them come in. Unfortunately, I wasn't here, so John got to acquire them. But actually, I think we sold one pretty quick after, right?
We did.
You weren't really too thrilled. You wanted to hang on to them because they are so cool. But you managed to sell one to recoup a little bit towards the other one. Now he gets to enjoy the other one for a nice discounted price. That's the fun thing, too. Sometimes we're crazy collectors. We're going to buy this stuff for ourselves or certainly get a deal on something. So a lot of fun.
And we brought a selection of stuff to show. Las Vegas Coin Company, of course, buys coins. Here's a pile of silver, $10.50. Those all came in the last week. Here's a gold set, which includes an original 1924 St. Gaudens gold piece, along with a $10 gold piece, a $5 gold piece, and a $2.50 gold piece. And so that's when money was real, in the 1920s up until 1930, when the government decided to confiscate gold. The value of that set, I just bought it. And so we'll probably sell that set for somewhere north of $5,000 at today's current gold price of $2,500 and change. In fact, because of the high price of gold, we are getting a lot of gold sellers coming in, not just in the coin department. We recently had a gold chain here. The gold value of the chain was $7,400.
Oh,
could you imagine? Okay, now back in the day, that wasn't, when gold was $300 an ounce, it wasn't anywhere near that. But now it's $7,400 for a gold chain. We buy a lot of stuff like that, including estates, collections. Anyway, I'm kind of talking a little too much. You got some cool stuff here, and we'll talk about estates and collections later. But
that's the same idea. There's just a couple of cool things that came in the store. Sometimes it's just one piece or somebody has a cool item, but a lot of times it's just a collection. Could have been inherited, could have been dad's stuff, could have been somebody that passed away, unfortunately, or it could just be their collection. It's time to downsize. So if something like this comes through, sure, we're going to check it out, evaluate it. The Coca-Cola was one of my favorite small registers called the candy store register. The big stuff gets too bulky. People don't really care to put a big cash register, a big, the typewriters and
right.
The sewing machines, but concise, smaller, there's a lot of room. So now you've taken one of the more sought after sizes of a candy register and now has a Coca-Cola motif, of course, which me and my Coca-Cola have to have it. Yeah. So I might overpaid for this maybe a little bit.
Like always.
Like always. But if not,
what are you selling it for?
We got it up at $1,495. And just a regular candy store register is going to be hitting $1,000 easy. So
you got that at $14.95?
Yes.
Well, if somebody's listening to this podcast and wants it, we could do $18.95 for you guys.
He's got jokes. What we would really prefer, though, is if somebody had a whole collection. If somebody had a whole collection of dads, or maybe they're just downsizing and they've got buttons and they've got signage from K wooden signs and they've got stuff. Coca-Cola was advertising in the 1890s. I don't think they did the first 10 years, but there's stuff out there that's 120 years old. That's the type of stuff I'm really hoping comes in the door. But even if not, we'll certainly take a look at anybody's collections, whether it's stuff like this or just a mix. Could have coins and jewelry and collectibles, and we can help you out the whole estate. Everything you've acquired, everything that's been left behind.
We also buy better bronzes. That bronze went through Sotheby's auction house probably 30 years ago. It's been in a private collection since. He's a French swordsman. Here we have a gilded statue of Voltaire. Interesting man in his own right. It's funny because he lived in Geneva, Switzerland, and he said on one remarkable afternoon that God is dead and there's no need for God. 100 years later, the Geneva Bible Society opened in his house. And so,
Not so dead, yes.
I guess not. And here we have a beautiful small bronze, I don't know if we'll put it out here briefly, of a horse. When you look at an older bronze like this, the blanket that's over this horse, the patina, is just rich in age, and you just can't not touch that little horse. And that's an expensive little piece. We'd probably sell that for about $800 or so dollars. And we paid up for something like that too. But you never know what's going to walk in the door. I mean, I'm being on the level with you guys. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Now you are on a podcast. You do have to
Okay,
explain
let me
to a
explain.
lot of
I'm
people
sorry, guys.
the
For those of you-
humorous movement you just made.
Well, yes. Somebody brought in this carpenter's level. It's about 18 inches, 16 inches long, give or take. It was made in the 1890s. When I worked as a cabinet maker, I actually used a few older tools like this because they're so well made. And this isn't a very expensive thing, but it's very intricate and ornate, just as they did many things in the 1800s that had beauty and functionality. And so in 200 years, this is still going to be usable because it's so well built. And it's amazing that they often concentrated on having ornate things. For instance, this is kind of odd, but steel I-beams, some of those were made in an ornate manner on the skyscrapers you see in New York that were built in the 1800s. They're not just I-beams, they're artistic. It's just amazing, really, how
such a different time.
Yeah, such a different time.
But yeah, so all of this stuff, as odd as it is, as obscure as it is, there's things we've never seen and heard of. It comes in the door. So that means if somebody didn't even know they had it. It could have come out of a storage unit, maybe an auction find. They could have definitely been inheriting this. It just doesn't matter what you've got. If you want to bring it on down, there's no charge, there's no obligation. We go through the items you've got and we help you evaluate it, and we're going to make cash offers on anything we can resell.
Now, unless you're calling from Reykjavik, you could certainly, Reykjavik, Iceland, that is, which I've actually been to. But anyway, you can give us a call at 702, which is the area code for Las Vegas, 702-766-1776. And we are at 9555 Southeastern. We only have one location, 9555 Southeastern, right here. Some of our competitors are actually putting our name into their website, so you are deliberately misled. And it's more than one, so I guess imitation is the best form of flattery when it really comes down to it. But we're one of the top buyers for all the things we've mentioned here in town. I'm not going to say, oh, we pay the most. I can't promise that. But I will say this, we're going to be in the top 10% of pretty much any buyer in town, whether it's diamonds, jewelry, because we buy a lot of jewelry. We bought an estate collection of jewelry today. Two sisters walked in. They walked out with a total of almost $20,000 for what they brought in. That's just today. Last Friday, we probably spent on another estate maybe $150,000 on a variety of things. And so you never really know what's going to walk in the door.
So also after that stuff comes in, we do try to find homes for a lot of it, but the really fun stuff, the cool stuff, sometimes stays in the store. So you can come on down here too, check it out, even just to see it, or maybe to buy it. As the holiday approaches or that special occasion, there's stuff here you're not going to find on Amazon, you're not going to find at Walmart. So whether you're coming by to check it out or just come on and get a story, or you got any of this stuff for us to look at, we're here 10 to 4, Monday to Friday. 10 to 2 on Saturdays. There's not even an appointment necessary. If you got a really big, huge estate, sure, give us a call. We'll try to set up a time. But it's not even necessary if you just got a carload of stuff.
Yep. And we will talk incessantly. I think we're about all set, guys. So thanks for listening. Please give us a call again, 702-766-1776, Las Vegas Coin Company, the one and only at 9555 Southeastern.
You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.